to Just in the Kitchen with me, your host, Justine. Happy Mother's Day to everybody the Corona way, right? I know we're all self-isolating, and I did put some recipes out. So for those of you that don't know, first of all, let me tell you what I'm making. I'm making Instant Pot chicken and dumplings. Why is it Instant Pot? Because my oven exploded. It went pop! And then there was this big bright red light in there, and then flames, and then it stopped, and all of a sudden nothing worked. So I'm out of an oven and a stovetop. So I'm using my Instant Pot to make dumplings. My mom loves dumplings, and my granny used to make them. So a lot of people call them Cracker Barrel dumplings. They're my granny dumplings. Granny was around before Cracker Barrel ever thought of anything. So we are making my granny's chicken and dumplings, and I absolutely love them. She would make them when company came, and my Aunt Joyce and my Uncle Wendell would come up from Kentucky, and my granny would make them, and she wouldn't tell anybody that they were coming up, but she told my mom one day, "Oh, I'm making chicken and dumplings, come on over." And my mom knew that my Uncle Wendell and my Aunt Joyce were coming up, because that's when we got our dumplings. So this was usually a summer meal for us, because that's when people traveled, you know, went on vacations, or in the summer. And I thought, you know, it's a comfort food. And what do we need now that we're stay at home? We need comfort. And this is so simple in ingredients. I did broth, chicken broth. I did a chicken. You need chicken, you need flour. You can do a little Crisco or butter. I did the Crisco because that's how Granny did it. So I have a whole chicken in here. I'm gonna add some carrots, and I didn't peel them because we're not gonna use them. And I'm giving lettuce, but I got the, lettuce. I'm going to do celery, and I got the inside of the celery where it has all the leaves and everything, because that imparts a lot of flavor. I have an onion in here, just big chunks, because we're not gonna use that. And then I'm gonna put in some pepper, about a teaspoon. Remember, this is going to make the broth that flavors all of the chicken, all of the dumplings. So you wanna make sure you flavor your broth well. I'm going to put in some kosher salt, probably about a tablespoon and a half, maybe a little more, because again, this is gonna flavor everything. And then I'm going to add in water up to the fill line. So I have, see right there it says PC max fill. That's what I'm going to fill this up to. I'm using cold water. I have a 10 quart. That was 11 cups of water. But yours will tell you how much to that fill line. That's how much water you put in there. Then I just put my lid on, lock it, listen to that music. Then I put pressure cook high, and I want it for 30 minutes. And I put this in. There you go. And then as it goes, this will come up as the pressure is built up. If there's any steam coming out of either here or anywhere, you don't have it sealed well, so reseal it, redo it. Sometimes it's just this. We'll be back when this is all done for how to make the dumplings, for chicken and dumplings. And then you see right here, pressure cook on, and then this will take it up to or down to 30 minutes, however long you want. I want 30 minutes. That will get everything done. And remember, I am doing my dumplings in the Instant Pot because I broke my stove. It blew up. We'll be right back. That's all. So if you have flour, you have water, you have a chicken, you have salt, you can make them. The milk is kind of a, you can use it or you don't have to use it. You can use cream, whatever you want. But it's really easy. So when we have limited availability to groceries, this is very easy. to make because you don't need a lot of ingredients. So what I'm going to do right here, I have flour and salt, and it's all-purpose flour, very easy. I have some flour here just so when I roll them out. In here I have the chicken broth from the chicken that I cooked in my Instant Pot. And I have a little Crisco in there that will go in here, and a little bit of milk. So I do want to say, during this time of COVID, I am praying for everybody. I know it's hard. I know that isolating is hard. And everybody's talking, I can't get my hair done, I can't get my nails done. Well, guess what? I learned to do my own hair, and I learned to do my own nails. Look at that. I bought the stuff online. It came, and the first batch, when I was filing, I filed my skin. Kind of hurt, but I've learned to do it better. So, meat is the invention, is the mother of invention. If you need something, the necessity of it, you're going to learn how to do workaround, right? So what I'll do is I'll make this, and then I'll drop it at my mom's house on the porch, and she is isolating, and I tell her, don't go out, don't go out, don't go out. And I would say that for anyone that is older, even when it opens up, don't go out. If you're in my area, give me a call. I'll bring stuff and I'll dump it on your porch, and I'll leave. Okay? So thank you for all of those that have subscribed to my YouTube. It's been fun. It's been keeping me going during this COVID, you know, coming up with new recipes, new ideas, that sort of thing. Kind of bummed that my oven is kaput. But hey, who knows what God will do? God may be bringing me a new oven. I don't know. I've been looking. So let's get to this. In my flour and salt, I've made a well. So you see, I have a well. And I'm going to pour about 2 cups of chicken broth in there. There's about a tablespoon and a half of, and that's about a 1/4 cup of milk. The tablespoon, this is the, what do you call it? Crisco. You could use lard, you could use butter. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of moving this around to get, so I'm not getting all lumps. And you see it's pulling from the side. That's how my granny taught me to do it. Pull in the flour from the side, and then you're not gonna get all yucky, big glob. And I will say, I've tried to pull in, you know, just dump it and mix it, and it did not turn out as nice. I think it overworks the glutens. Now, if you need more flour or you need more broth, you can always add a little bit more broth, and you can always add a little bit more flour to the side. I remember seeing my granny's little, you know, hands. They were all kind of arthritic, and she would be working the dough with her little hands. I just loved her. I miss her still. She was the one that kept us all together. She would turn around, and on Sundays, she had 7 kids. And my mom had 4 kids. My uncle had 6, and my other one had 6, and we would all go over there. I would go crazy having that many kids, but we would just all eat. We'd have Sunday dinner at Granny's house. And I think that's where I've learned to get together with my family and keep that going, because Granny instilled it in us. Once it gets to this stage, you want to see that you push it down and it kind of comes back on itself. Take some out and roll it. So my dough is done. See? A little life in it. And I put some flour on here, and I'm just going to roll it out. You can see it's kind of fighting me back because it's stretching, but that, my granny says, makes a good dumpling. Roll it out to about 1/8 to 1/4. Make sure your edges, because I always remember they were thicker, and I didn't necessarily care for the thicker. So I would say that's about 1/8 of an inch. And some people use pizza cutters. I just use a knife. And I make them a little on the wide side, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to stretch them when I put them in the broth. Now this is only a portion of the dough. Now I'm going to add some milk to it. You could do heavy cream if you have it. You want it about that color. And then you just put your dumplings in. The water's boiling. Put your dumplings in. If they're too long, I will tear them. There we go. Stretch them so they're not super thick. Putting all my dumplings in, and I'll come back and tell you what to do. Put pressure cook for 15 minutes. I want it on high. Time will be 15 minutes. Kitchen disasters. My biggest disaster, it was an old-fashioned pressure cooker. We're cooking for a funeral, and we are making dumplings. My sister doesn't have a lot of pots and pans that all the cooking that we were doing needed. She's like, well, I've got a pressure cooker. So she cooked the chicken in the pressure cooker, and we went to go put the dumplings in there, and when it started to pressure up, it cooked, and she went to go release it, and there was a geyser that shot up from the back up to the ceiling, back down, over on shoes, on the side of the stove. It was a gravy geyser. It was unbelievable. This one, we're not gonna cook up that high, but I will tell you, those were the best dumplings I'd ever had. They were light, they were fluffy and good and delicious. So we're gonna do this at 15 minutes. And I have my chicken over on the other side. Can you see that? I have my chicken over there, and I'm gonna debone it and put it back in there when we're done. When this little button goes down, you know it's done. Remember, do not do a manual release. Don't flip this button so it will release a lot, the steam, because with it comes the gravy geyser. So don't do that. Let it release on its own. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it. The dumplings. What we're gonna do is add the chicken. Now, I deboned all the chicken, and I just put it in there. You can see the gravy in there. That was made by the dumplings. If it's not to your liking, you could add some cornstarch to thicken it up, but as it cools, it will get thicker. Look at that dumpling. It is luscious. At this point, I would also taste for salt and pepper and see if you need a little bit more. But we're done. My dumplings are done. And look at them. Oh, see, so when you put them in, they break up anyway, but they look at that. How lovely that looks. Oh my goodness. Better than those people that get them at Cracker Barrel. My granny's recipe beats theirs by far. That's good home cooking. I'm just telling you, you're not gonna get that. You'll get close, but you won't get this at Cracker Barrel. And cooking it in the pressure cooker, remember, do not try to release the pressure because you will get gravy geyser. Oh, these are so good. And you know what? I serve them up with mashed potatoes, green beans, and corn because that's what Granny did. The chicken, she used to serve on the side, but I like it right in there. So make sure you try this recipe. And the dumplings do freeze. You know, you can freeze them if you get a big pot like I did. I have a 10-quart one. So I will give you guidelines on how to cut it down if you have a smaller pot. You can also just boil them on the stove. That's fine. But the pressure cook makes them very, very, very light. Oh, so for all of you that have liked me, thank you very much. For all of you that like seeing me now, hop over to YouTube. Hit that button. You'll get notified of all my new videos.
hit subscribe. It'll turn gray, and you will get notifications for this recipe and more, because I have a lot out there. Go to www.justinthekitchen.com. This would cure anything. The blues, COVID, hey, it is a cure-all. Although it really doesn't cure COVID, but it sure feels like it. Thanks. God bless. Have a good stay in place.